What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here from Muscle Serpents Daily. And today we're going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a Monday, and you never know what happens on a Monday, as I always say. First of all, I want to show you what happened last night when I came into my snake room. I got a little surprise. We'll take a look at that first. And then when we come back, we're going to see what it is like to have a new koi pond. I know this is a reptile channel, but I want to show you some cool video of my wife and I and my mother-in-law purchased this house across the street. There's an amazing koi pond, and I want to show you some of the great fish and stuff that's going on with that. Just to give you a little teaser, if any of you guys want to subscribe, I have another channel called Muscle Fish. I haven't really done much with it the last 4 years because when I moved from New York to Florida, I kind of sold all my fish tanks. Now I'm getting back into, setting up a fish tank in my house, and then I also have this new koi pond I want to show you guys. I got some great cool stuff on that channel happening. So a little crossover here today, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you guys how to set up a reptile tank. In other words, if you want to have the snake and you've never really had one before, and you really don't know what you need, I know it's basic for some of the regular viewers of this channel, but I want to show you, what the options are for beginners who are getting into the hobby and want to get a new snake and may want to have a different type of setup. Like, not everyone wants to have a big rack with 14 different slots and everything like that. Or maybe people don't want to start that big. They want to start with a basic aquarium. So let's go first see what happened last night. We'll go check out the koi pond, and then when we come back, we're going to see how to set up a new reptile enclosure. Well, there's one snake that I lost. Nice little carpet python. He got out. I've been looking for him for quite a while, for about 2 weeks now. Coming to my snake room at 2:30 in the morning. I actually came in with a flashlight. I didn't turn any lights on because I figured there'd be someone stalking about at night. And I guess that's when these guys go hunting, because this guy's been hiding from me. I haven't been able to find him. Small snakes are really difficult to find. Big snakes way easier. This guy's been eluding me, and here he is, just chilling out. He's having a ball. Caught him. See the fun stuff? This is a cool snake just to have wandering around your snake room. This is this might be a caramel double head snow carpet python right there. All right, everyone, here it is. This is the secret project. This is my new koi pond. I purchased this house with my wife and my mother-in-law, and she's living here, my mother-in-law, and we have this awesome enclosed koi pond here. I don't even know how many gallons it is. It's huge, though. And there's Moby Dick right there. The big white one with the orange on it. I call him Moby Dick. That's like one of the biggest ones in this pond. There's a lot of fish in here. There's actually some red-eared slider turtles in here, too. If you look hard enough, I think they're breeding in here too, because I saw a couple of little ones too. So if you look on the far bank, you can see there's a basking area. There's a couple basking spots for them. I have to do a little trim back. Maybe I'll do a video on that when we trim back all the trees and little plants we have here. But this is the pond, and it's pretty well stocked with some really cool koi. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go through these. I think I'm going to get some of these black ones out here. I'm not really so thrilled with the black ones. The black ones are they survive a little too easy. I don't want this whole pond to turn into black kois. I want to get more colors in this. So I might pull some of the black ones out, and because there is a lot of fish in here, so I think I might thin them out a little bit. If you look, the guy who I bought this house from really did a nice job. He's got a little cactus garden here, which I always wanted. If you walk around, you can actually walk the perimeter, although, like I said, excuse the weeds, because I have to really trim this back, because I think it wasn't being cared for. Like, all this stuff here in the gravel all this has to be pulled out here. It's just overgrown, And I'll get a garbage pail and I'll do all this, but there's some really nice little trees. Once again, we have the two waterfalls, the one over there, and we have a waterfall right here. You can walk around the back of the pond here, and you can see that they have everything buried, all the lines and everything like that. I'll show you the pond filter in a little bit. Here's some really, once again, you can walk around the perimeter. This is overgrown here. We're going to cut all this back and trim it back. I'll show you in a video coming up, I guess. All this stuff has to just be trimmed down. There's just too much stuff here. But who knows? There could be snakes and lizards here. I was thinking about maybe releasing some leopard geckos in here. I think that would be kind of cool. This is all enclosed here, so I don't have to worry about this getting out or anything like that. I just like all the wildlife back here and everything that's living back here. It's just really cool. And some leopard geckos would certainly eat the bugs. And here's my filter area. This has got to be cleaned out every once in a while. That netting. This is where the overflow, this is where all the water comes in and it gets sucked out into the filter, which I'll show you in a minute. And if you look, one of the spectacular things I didn't even know was here, they have a secondary pond they built. The secondary pond is, I guess, originally was using this for any of the koi babies to grow up. I'm going to turn this into a freshwater aquarium, essentially, an outdoor freshwater aquarium, that is. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in here. My inkling is I love Oscars. I might put some Oscars in here, start breeding them in here. I also have a little refugium here. So when you do when you fill this up, there's a little switch here. You can kind of add water. There's a way that you pull the water out, but then you can also put some water into this thing and it fills up in here. I might actually put even some small fish in here. I need an air stone probably in there. And I can use this as almost having like two separate fish tanks. So really cool potential of this pond. This is really this little one excites me more because I'm into freshwater fish. I like the koi, obviously very peaceful and very kind of cool, but this has super potential. This looks like the Amazonian rainforest right here. And think about all the cool fish we could put into this. So I haven't decided what I'm going to put in here. I think I'm going to go with Oscars and maybe some red spotted Severums or something like that. We'll have to see. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really decided fully. But if you come over here, I'll show you where the filter is for this pond. He actually put a full-size pool filter in here, which obviously makes filtering this water and cleaning it really well. Look at this thing. This is a monster. This is a pressurized tank of water here, so it's pumping that water back into the tank. It runs off of that water system there, so everything is really clean. And all you have to do is backwash this filter, so you can clean the filter and do a water change on the pond just by switching this switch here. You pump the water, it kind of goes into the grass over there, and then you flip another switch and you refill that water right back into the pond, and you do an instant water change in about 20 minutes, and you backwash this filter so the filter's all cleaned out too. The only thing you have to change out is there's a little, I guess, area that traps particulate matter. So you got to empty that out and wash it out every so often. And then obviously inside the pond there is one too in the overflow. And the great thing is everything's valved off, so you can shut things off when you want to put water in or take water out. It's very well set up here, and I'm super excited about this. So this is a little pond tour, and you can see this is a big cage they put around this pond here, so that no wildlife or no birds, nothing's picking off my koi or any of my fish in here, and that's the advantage of that. So over the next couple of days, I'm gonna pull out, I think, some of those black koi and maybe go for some, try to thin out the population a little bit. And then when they breed next year, I'll be able to take some of the best babies, the lightest babies, the ones with the best markings, and repopulate this pond with even better looking fish, because otherwise it's going to overgrow and it's going to have a lot of dark koi in here. And I don't really want just the black koi, even though some of them are cool. I might keep a couple. Also, I'm thinking about, once again, getting some of these red-eared sliders out of here, because they're kind of just the normal ones, and maybe to put some albinos in here so you can see them, because the regular ones kind of camouflage a little too well into this pond here. So we'll see. A lot of potential here over the next couple weeks and months and years. This thing is going to evolve and change, and you guys are going to catch it all. All right, we snagged one of these turtles, and I don't know what this might be. I think this is a yellow belly slider. It's not a red-eared slider because it doesn't have red on its ear right there, and it's got the yellow belly. The shells, what happens is when they're in these ponds, the shells get algae buildup on them, so you really can't see the pattern of the shell, but you can see the belly for sure where it doesn't get the algae. And this wasn't even the biggest one in there. This is almost like a baby, although this thing looks like it's probably a couple of years old anyway. Really nice, very healthy looking. They're obviously eating really well in here. There's a lot of vegetation in here, obviously, and they're eating the fish food that's getting thrown in here for the koi. So I was gonna try to get these guys out and maybe put some albinos, but I kind of like this guy. So we're gonna keep the turtle. All right, so you want to get a new snake and you don't know where to keep it or what to do with it. Let's say you want to get a baby ball python and you're like, you know what, I want to raise it up, but I just want one snake. This is my first pet. What do I do? The easiest thing, I guess, to do is to get a glass enclosure like this. This is a 10-gallon tank, for you guys who know fish tanks. But this is made for reptiles. It's got a special top that actually locks. It's a screen top, and it slides in and it clicks shut. And this locks so that this thing can't be opened, because these snakes are escape artists, okay? And to kind of release it, you have to kind of lift up the lid and it kind of slides open. So this is an escape-proof top. This is what you need. If you just get a regular aquarium with a screen that sits on it, then you got to put rocks on it and clips. It doesn't work. You got to get something that kind of clicks in like this. And then you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to put on the bottom of the tank? Now, you could put various substrates. You can use aspen bedding. My two favorite, things are, number one, paper towels. Okay, I keep all my snakes on paper towels. I have a lot of snakes, so it's easier to keep them this way. The advantage of paper towels is, you can just kind of, if they pee on it or they poop, you kind of just take the paper towel, crumple it up, get it out, you spray down your tank and you clean it out. And of course, if you're going to spray down the tank, you have to use something that's safe for reptiles. I can show you that after. And then you can just put new paper towels down, and it's that simple, If you ever had an incident with mites, you would see them right away because the white paper towel kind of shows them off. And I just think it's simple. But, it doesn't look as pretty to have paper towels on the bottom of the cage. And if you only have one snake, you might want to make the tank look a little bit more hospitable to the snake. So you can go the other option, which is what I like, Reptile. Better than aspen, I think, because Reptile is coconut. It's coconut husk that's been broken up into pieces, and you buy it in this little block. You kind of reconstitute it with some water, and then you spread it on the bottom of the cage, and it looks like aspen bedding, but it's coconut. And for some reason, coconut absorbs urine really well. You don't smell it, nothing, and for some reason it seems to degrade the urine to the point where you don't need to change it that often. You can spot change if they poop in the cage. You can kind of scoop it out and throw it away. And if you're only having one snake, it's pretty simplistic. Now, what you really need to concentrate on, obviously, you need a water bowl. And you can go for big water bowls. You can go small water bowls. This is a little big for a baby snake. But, as the snake grows older, I have different size water bowls that I usually employ. And it really depends on, how big your snake is. It's probably for a baby snake, this is probably perfect. And you can get these at reptilebasics.com. That's where I buy all mine from, pretty reasonably priced. You can go on Amazon. You're also going to need something to create a hot spot on one side of the tank where the snake could bask and help digest its meal and thermoregulate. And Zoom Ed makes very, very cheap and really well made hot spots. And what this is an old one. This is a sticker. It basically peels off and you put it on the bottom of the tank. So you lift up your tank, you turn your tank over here. This thing is a sticker, and it kind of sticks onto the bottom of the tank, and then you plug that in. Now the key is when you have this thing on the bottom of the tank, okay, so they can essentially thermoregulate in that one area whenever they eat or when they want to warm up, you need to put this thing on a thermostat, because otherwise this hot spot will get too hot and you can burn your animal. This thing does not just plug directly into the wall. You need to get something similar to this. This is a thermostat. Vivarium makes these things. Herpstat makes them. For a beginner, you can get a Vivarium. This is probably a little high end because this is actually for, this is adequate, obviously, but they have ones that are cheaper if you only have one snake. And you plug it in, you set the temperature, for 88 degrees if that's what you want to set it for. And this thing will turn on and turn off so that that hot spot stays at 88 degrees. It comes with a probe, and that's how the probe tells the temperature. You put the probe right underneath the hot spot, and this thing will hold very good temperature in that area, and then the snake can go on there or not go on there. You could also use a hide box. I like to use a hide box on one side of the tank. Usually put the hide box where the where the hot spot is, so that they can go after they eat and they can sit in the hot spot and hide in there and they can digest their meal. You could, if the enclosure gets too warm, you know, obviously because your ambient temperature in the room is too hot, then you're going to have to turn that down a little, because you want the snake to be able to thermoregulate. In other words, if it wants to get cooler, it's going to the cool side. If it wants to warm up, it goes to the warm side. So you don't want the room to be too hot either. So don't put it in your garage in the middle of the summer. That's not going to be a smart move, you know, and that's not going to be a comfortable situation for your snake. So hide box, water bowl, substrate on the bottom, your hot spot, and then a thermostat to regulate that. And you're really good to go. You know, what I do is when the snakes go into shed, or they're getting a little, you know, their eyes get, you know, that weird, you know, colored blue color, I spray down, or you can spill the water bowl a little. If you have paper towels, you wet the paper towels a little. If you have the substrate, you make them a little wet and damp, so that it makes it a little easier for them to shed. Otherwise, you don't really need to wet things down too much, other than when the snake is going to shed. And this is so easy. You throw your mouse in there if you're feeding live, if you wiggle it in there if it's frozen thawed once a week, and you got a snake enclosure. It's really, really, really simple. And, you know, once again, there's not much you need to do. If you keep on top of it and you clean up the poops and pee when it happens, scoop out your substrate, or just, you know, change your paper towels regularly. It's really a very, very simple way to set up a snake, and it's super easy. Now, if you wanted to have more than one snake, now you're talking about possibly getting into a rack situation. These are Vision racks. This is what I started with. That was my first rack, and it's really easy because, you know, you get a V70 rack like this one I'm showing you. You got 11 slots. You can put 11 snakes there. The footprint in your house, it takes up a very small amount of space. You can see this thing is very small. We're just talking one of these racks here. And, you know, now you can go from one snake to 11 snakes in your house. And these racks will hold a full-grown ball python for its entire life. And so even my big females, they stay in there their whole life. And so for ball pythons, this is great. Even for boas, the dwarf boas will live in there their whole life too. And this is an easy situation also, because you can set up your water bowl, your hide box, your snake can thermoregulate. You see, this snake doesn't want to be warm, so it's not sitting over there. It's sitting on the cool side. It's got its water bowl. If it wants to wrap around the water bowl to cool down a little more, and the snake is very happy. So this is an easy situation. It's very easy to clean. As you can see, I have paper towels. I just pull the paper towels up, throw them in the garbage. If they make a mess pooping, I have to spray down the thing and I clean it off. And that's it. I mean, it's that simple, you know. Anyone who tells you that a snake is a hard pet to keep is crazy. It's the easiest animal, I think, that you could possibly keep. The only thing I wanted to add is a lot of people don't know how to clean the inside of their cages or tubs or tanks, and this is chlorhexidine. You can buy this on Amazon. I buy a big jug of it. It's a gallon jug at a time. You take this and you dilute it 10 to 1. So if you take a little water bottle, so if you take a spray bottle like this and you fill it up maybe about this much with the pure chlorhexidine, you add the rest water and you fill it up, and now you have a perfect spray you can clean your enclosures down with, and you spray them down, wipe them down. It's super easy. I buy like these in Walmart, these empty, these are just regular spray bottles. And, you know, they break every once in a while. You get a new one. They're only like $1 a piece or something like that. And you have the perfect cleaning solution. You don't have to worry about it irritating. There's no bleach in there or anything like that. It's perfectly safe to clean your animal enclosures with it. Just wipe it down after you're done. And that's it. There's nothing more to it. I mean, it's really that simple. And it's so simple, and that's why you wind up getting so many snakes, because you're like, oh, this is not hard. But then you started having hundreds of snakes, and before you know it, that one easy clean doesn't take it takes a little longer than you think. So anyway, this is, I wanted to show you guys how to set up a snake in a very simple, easy way. And don't be intimidated by it. If you want to start with a $50 regular ball python, you do that. If you want to start at a higher end ball python, that's fine too. The care for them is exactly the same. All right, guys, that's it for today. It was a quick hit today. You know, I wanted to just show you guys a little bit of this, a little bit of that's been going on the past couple of days. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you a great clutch that has just hatched out. It's another Mandarin project that I've been working on. It was a late clutch this year. I think it turned out really well. I haven't really identified everything yet. Hopefully I'll do that together with you as I'm pulling, these babies out and looking at them because I think they're still hatching. I think there's still 2 that haven't completely come out of the egg yet. Hopefully by tomorrow they'll all be out. We'll take a look at them then. Hopefully you guys got a little, if you didn't know, if you're new to the channel and you're really looking to get into keeping a snake, hopefully I gave you some ideas to think about how to set up your snakes. There's no right way. It's just what works for you. So don't let people make you think like you're not doing things the right way and you're not keeping your animals correctly. There's a lot of ways to keep them. There's a lot of different setups you can do. If you can make elaborate setups with naturalistic looking habitats, to me that's just it's a little hard to clean it though. Now if you only have one snake, it doesn't matter. So you do what makes you feel good and how you like to see your snake. Obviously, a ball python in a 10-gallon is fine initially, maybe for a male for its whole life, but for a female, you're probably going to need to get a 20-gallon long tank if you want to keep it in tanks. Or maybe start with your 10-gallon, and then what happens is you say, you know what, I want another snake, and you buy a rack system like I just showed you at the end of the video. And so you go from your 10-gallon, that 10-gallon was one of my first, ball python cages. I still have it, I still have that tank. And I kept it, just for posterity, you never know, right? But now I've obviously evolved, since then to a big rack system, and I have many rack systems now, and that's how it happens. It's a very addictive hobby. I'm just warning you guys out there. All right, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and we'll see you back